If Christianity is going to make me fear death, then I don't want it. We're all going to die. Like, seriously. I have been waiting for a long time to film this video. I'm so nervous. I'm hesitant. But no. It's time. Let's dive deep into my spiritual journey, aka my spiritual awakening. Stay tuned.
Stop playing with them, Riot. A baddie gon' get what she like. So what's your sign? Cause I like you.
Hey girlies, hey my loves, hey virtual besties. Welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a topic of spirituality. I want to introduce spirituality on my channel, and I'm going to start by talking about my spiritual journey, my spiritual awakening. Okay, so let's hop right into it, mamas. Just a little background about me, because it's going to make more sense if I tell you about my childhood growing up. I was raised in church, right? I was raised in church from an infant on up. My mom would go to church sometime 2 times on Sundays. We was going to Bible study. We was going to choir rehearsal, honey. If it was a day, we was going to be in church, okay? We might have went to church, I say, about good 3 or 4 times in a week, okay? That was my life, all my life. And my mom, rest my baby's soul, she was a very religious person. She read the Bible all the time, listen to church music. Y'all, my mom was so religious that she didn't even wear pants, okay? I remember going to the gym and seeing her work out in skirts. Then the older she got, I might have seen her with workout pants on like 2 or 3 times, maybe 4 times in my whole entire life. Other than that, my mom had dresses on because I guess she believed that women weren't supposed to wear pants. The type of church I was raised in, it was very like stern, very strict. Women couldn't wear like, revealing clothes or tight clothes. We had to wear stockings. You can't show your bare legs. Like, women and men weren't supposed to sit together in church if you weren't married. Like, if you were dating, you were not supposed to sit by your man, honey. You had to sit on the other side or just sit anywhere else except by him. That's how strict my church was. And growing up, I just always remember my pastor and other pastors preaching about hell and how if you don't get your life right, you're going to hell, and how, like, we need to strive to be perfect in order for God to really love us, and how, God is disappointed if we're not abiding by him in the Bible. And long story short, I just remember being taught to kind of fear God, which I believe, we all should fear God because he's the creator of us all. We should all fear God. He is our creator, okay? He has the most power and the most influence over our lives. So we should definitely all fear God. However, I believe where the Christianity that I was raised in went wrong is that they didn't really preach about God's love. They preached about God's forgiveness sometimes, but they preached about God's wrath and God's judgment way more than God's forgiveness. So imagine growing up as a child, and your parent wanting you to be a certain way, and you weren't really that way. Which was my story. Like, my mom wanted me to be preaching and teaching and doing dance. And don't get me wrong, I love to do the praises. I tried once or twice. The females were, I tried once or twice, but that just didn't work out. But, just imagine growing up in that environment, feeling like you can't cuss, you can't dance, you can't be who you want to be. What is he doing? You're naturally supposed to be. That's how I felt. I always loved dance growing up. I loved to move my body. I had a very mature body at a young age. So, my mom was very strict, and I'm thankful that she was. But I'm saying that to say this, like, I wanted to do dance. I wanted to do things that, included choreography and music. And my mom didn't let me listen to like any R&B in the house, no hip hop. Like, me and my cousin would have to sneak to watch the BET Awards. And like, the older I got, she would let us watch the BET Awards, like, like a couple of minutes. Like, when I was in high school, I was able to watch the BET Awards. I wasn't allowed to go to prom until my senior year. No parties, no nothing like that. I was raised in a very, very strict environment. And do not get me wrong, there are pros and cons to that. But back to the Christianity part, I just remember always going to church and them just speaking about majority the negativity when it comes to Christianity and God. They paint this picture like God was this man sitting on a cloud, in heaven, condemning people, judging people, making people kind of like, pay for their sins. And do not get me wrong, I do believe in karma. But fast forward to when I was in college and my mom kicked me out, y'all. That's a whole nother story. But fast forward to when I was in college and I was kicked out and I was living with other people. So that caused me to kind of not go to church every Sunday. When I was living in my mom's house, her rules was as long as you're living in this house, you're going to church every Sunday. I don't care if you work Saturday night, Saturday morning. I don't care if you partying Saturday. I don't care if you get in the house at 3 o'clock. You will be up at 8 or 9 o'clock getting ready for church at 10, okay? That was my life. It was negotiation. And like sometimes she would make me feel bad for not going to church if I missed church. So all that is in my subconscious. It is in my wiring. Is in my growing up. All that is in my mental, right? And I lost my brother young, so I already had questions about death. I always feared death. I didn't understand death. So the older I got and the more people started passing away around me, it made my anxiety really, really, really bad. And even still to this day, I'm dealing with it. I just, I will always think of, if I die and I'm not living my life right, I'm going to hell. And who wants to live every day feeling like that? Part of me used to feel like, why even try with Christianity? Because I was taught that you kind of have to be perfect, or, you got to be doing this and this and that and that and that right in order for God to love you. But I honestly, the more I have grown, the more I have done my own research, I honestly believe that's not true. Of course, God wants us trying our best. But at the end of the day, nobody knows what we're going through, literally, but God. Nobody understands what we're going through but God. And I just feel like, especially like back in the day, like they made Christianity so hardcore and scary, and a lot of young people don't even go to church because they don't want to be judged. And then growing up around church people, and listen, I'm not coming at nobody. This is just my personal opinion. If you agree, that's fine. If you disagree, you can comment down below. Let's have a conversation, but keep it respectful, honey, because I know how to block and delete really quick. But growing up in church, it was just like a lot of the church people, older church people, they were very, 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 very judgmental. Baby, like if it was, like visitors coming to church and they was wearing a certain thing or wearing pants or something like that, they would turn their nose up at them and talk about them and look at them. And I'm like, but in the Bible, God says, come as you are. So if these people are coming out on the street as they are, what they're comfortable in, and then they come in church and they feel a certain vibe that is not godly, and it's not God's love, and it's just judgment, what is that going to do? That's going to scare them away from wanting to come to that church, or just church in general. I've heard so many stories about people having church hurt, and it is a thing. And then people might fight back saying, well, you're not going to church for people, you're going to church for God. And that is so, so true. Church is not about impressing people. Church is not about going to Congress. Church is about you connecting with God, you being around people who are connecting with God, that energy just feeling good and uplifting. That's my personal opinion. But I just remember being younger in my old church that I was raised up in. I just remember just Christians being so judgmental and just gossiping, and I'm just like, how do y'all say y'all are Christians and y'all trying to be like God, but y'all treat God's people like that? Because we're all God's people. Whether you're a Christian, whether you're an atheist, whether you're a Buddha, God created us all. We're all God's children. No matter your skin color, no matter your status, no matter nothing, we're all God's people, and He sees us all as one. And once people really understand that and realize that, the world will become a better place. Because at the end of the day, we be really so quick to judge people, not understanding what they deal with in their mental every single day. You don't know what people are going through. Another reason why I have so much compassion, because you really don't know what people are going through. But like I was saying, growing up seeing that, and then sometimes with certain Christians, I'm not speaking on all, in Christianity, people act one way in church, but then when you see them out on the street, or when you see them somewhere else that's not in church, they're a whole different character.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
So then I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, people really are putting on an act for church. And, God sees all. So, the older I got, I just started going to church less and less. I was going to church like maybe 2 or 3 Sundays out of a month, not every Sunday. When I was in college, maybe 2017, 2018, 2019. But I say around 2019, that's when I really wasn't going to church as much. 2020, the pandemic happened, so church stopped. That's okay. So that's the first segment. That's just a little bit of my background. I really hope I explained it enough for you to understand, kinda. I know I didn't go deep. I'm trying to keep this video short, but that is how I was raised. So that's what's programmed in my subconscious, and that's what's programmed in my conscious as well. That's how I was raised. Fast forward to, I say, about 2018. I remember, and this is the earliest I remember, I could have been seeing repeating numbers before then, but I just remember after my best friend dad passed away, or rest in peace, he was like another dad to me, my heart. It was a very, very hard time for me and her, but I was there for her, and I thank God that God gave me the strength to be there for her, y'all, because it was so rough. But after my best friend's father passed, I remember we was at her house, and I looked at the stove, and I remember it saying 1111, right? So I'm just looking, I'm like, oh, okay, like, it's 1111. Those are the same numbers, like, that's cool, whatever. Didn't pay no attention to it, didn't think nothing of it. So then I started seeing repeating numbers more. So I'm like, something isn't right. And of course it kind of scared me in a way, because I'm just like, oh my God, like, it's like what is going on, like, what's happening? Because once again, in the Christian faith, a lot of times, like, they teach fear. Let's be real. They don't teach love, they teach fear. So, I have a lot of fear installed in me that I'm currently trying to get out of my subconscious and out of my heart, because it's hard living with fear, because fear causes a lot of anxiety. But I was just like, oh my God, like, what's going on? Like, is this God trying to communicate with me? Am I doing something wrong? Like, what's going on? Those were just my thought process. So I continue seeing repeating numbers, like I was saying, and they kept, I was seeing them on like car plates, I was seeing them on receipts, I was seeing them on social media. I would get my car, and like on the odometer, I would see repeating numbers 111, 222, 333. Then something was like, Tisha, go on, because y'all know YouTube has everything, okay? YouTube has everything. Some said, Tisha, go on YouTube and type in, what does it mean when I see 1111? I did that. When I did that, it opened up a whole nother world of spirituality for me, okay? Because I'm just like, oh, okay, so these repeating numbers are meaning something, and they all mean something different. And with these repeating numbers, that means I'm going through a spiritual awakening, and my ancestors are trying to contact me, and my angels are trying to lead me and guide me, let me know I'm not by myself. And these numbers means that financial wealth is coming, or I need to let go of something, or I need to change my diet, or I need to focus on my spirituality. All the numbers mean something different, and I'm just like, wow, I was never taught this in my religion. Like Christianity, they really don't believe in like the horoscopes. They really don't believe in really nothing else outside of the Bible. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, wow. So then I started doing more research. Then I learned about the chakras in our bodies. Then I learned about shadow work and, healing your inner child. Then I learned about crystals. And while I'm learning about all this, y'all, part of me is thinking oh my God, I hope what I'm doing is not going against my Christianity, because this is how I was raised. My parents are going to be so disappointed. Hell, I'm disappointed in myself. But I had so many questions outside of my Christianity, because at the end of the day, What I like about the spiritual journey that I'm on now is that spirituality versus religion, spirituality, they want you to go more within. They want you to heal yourself. They want you to learn yourself. They, want you to manifest. They want you to understand the power of your tongue and how you don't have to be living in struggle and your life doesn't have to be so hard versus Christianity. Christianity, from what I was taught, once again, I'm gonna keep on saying that. From what I was taught, Christianity goes more into what's in the Bible. Like, people praise and worship pastors because they're supposed to be like the vessel between you and God is the pastor. And pastors are humans. Pastors make mistakes, okay? Just know that. And that's the difference between like Christianity kind of and spirituality. Like, spirituality really teaches you that God is within you. You are a part of God, so you don't have to go to a man to help you connect to God. You don't have to go, to a church to hear a pastor preach to really understand that everything you need is inside of you. And when I was hearing that, when I was doing my research on spirituality in the beginning, that really connected with me and that really resonated with me, because I'm just like, from what I was taught about my religion, it makes me feel like I'm not good enough. It makes me feel like I can never live good enough to go to heaven. It makes me feel like I'm hell bound. It makes me feel like God really doesn't love me. It makes me feel like Christianity, the way that it was taught to me growing up, it just put all these negative thoughts about myself in my own head. And even now, I was just telling my husband the other day that death be on my mind so much, because my mom was the type of woman that she will always say, you gotta get your life right. Jesus is coming back. Make sure when Jesus come back that your life is right, that your heart is right, that you're not really sinning a lot. So I was being told that from a child on up.
Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy, Jesus. Let everybody hear this, God. Y'all be out here twerking for the devil. Y'all gonna go to hell. Jesus soon to come back.
What you mean you gonna help? You ain't twerking.
You ain't twerking for Jesus. You're not praising God. So let everything have breath. Praise ye the Lord.
Literally, like, she was saying that literally till the day that she passed away. That really effed my mental up, y'all. Like, can you imagine? I know she didn't mean no harm by it. She felt like she was doing God's work, which trying to get as many people to heaven that she could while she was on this earth. So I respect her for that. But I don't really think she understood that it caused way more harm than good in my mental. Because I don't want to fear death. Why do I have to fear something that is going to happen to me no matter what? No matter how many salads I eat, no matter how much water I drink, no matter how many times I work out, no matter how many times I can, heal my heart chakra, heal my sacral chakra, heal my root chakra, no matter how much healing I do, we're all going to die. Seriously, we're all going to die one day. So I don't want to fear death. When it's my time to go, baby, when it's my time to go, I want me and God to be here with it. So I'm just peaceful. If Christianity is going to make me fear death, then I don't want it. And even me saying that kind of like made me, but I don't want to fear death. I don't want to fear something that I'm going to have to experience one day. I don't want to get emotional in here. Oh my goodness. I don't want to experience something I don't want to fear something I have to experience one day. Me realizing that meditating is a thing and manifesting is a thing, and how we really create our own reality, and how, we're in this matrix and they have lied to us for so long that we believe that the lies is the truth and the truth are lies. Once God opened me up to that, that's when I'm just like, okay, it brought me peace in a weird way. It brought me peace. I haven't really gotten to like crystals yet, but I have been doing my research on the chakras and, healing your inner child, because I have a lot of healing that I need to do, and clearing my chakras, and, just really working on my inner self, because I feel like Christianity teaches you to go outside. Spirituality teaches you to go in. And the most healing and growth I have experienced, y'all, is when I have have been by myself being God, and I've been trying to heal myself and go within, because no one can heal you but God and yourself. Okay, you have to allow God to come inside you and work on you and heal you, because he will not force himself on you. That's one thing about God. He gives us all free will. That is just a little bit of my story. I hope it can help somebody. I hope that me opening up, I hope I don't offend anyone. I'm just on here really trying to spread love and light and just be vulnerable with y'all, because at the end of the day, like, I really grew up Christian and I really grew up in church all the time, and even now to this day my father is a pastor. So, you know, it's just like, at the end of the day, I do still consider myself Christian. I'm not saying, oh my goodness, like I'm not a Christian. But right now, I am more on my spiritual journey rather than me being religious. I don't want to teach my children religion. I want to teach my children relationship. Because at the end of the day, what's going to keep you pushing when you feel like giving up is your relationship with God. And guess what? No one can strengthen your relationship with God but you. Yes, you can go to church every Sunday, go to Bible studies Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That's only 50%. The other 50%, you're going to have to meet God halfway. And, you know, that's what they don't teach us. They don't teach us about that. I hope and pray this video can help somebody. Comment down below. Let's have a conversation. How do you feel about Christianity? How do you feel about spirituality? Some people say it's a new age spirituality. Comment down below and let me know how you feel. Like I said, I respect everyone's opinion. This is a free space. Y'all know my community is a free space. Just don't say nothing crazy, because you know you will get up out of here. So I love y'all. I will be announcing the winners of the giveaway in my next vlog, which will come soon. It's going to be a little bit of pieces of this and that and that and that and that. But yes, love y'all. Bye. Oh yes, remember, I love you, but God loves you more.